Yes, some really pleasant conditions across most parts of the region for much of today, despite a little bit of cloud around at times. Really feeling and looking like spring now. And this was the story today. Weather front and low pressure to the north and west of us, but ahead of that, feeding in the mild air. And yes, us getting some of the better sunny spells on offer across the UK. So as we head deeper into tonight, that front tries to infringe on the region, so it gives a little bit more cloud, the risk of a few showers, but nothing too significant overnight tonight. Maybe some low clouds over the higher ground in the Dales there, and temperatures staying well above the average for the time of year. The winds will start to freshen as we head towards tomorrow, 7:02 and 5:37 ISO times for Thursday. Tomorrow morning we are expecting the best of the brightness to be in the east. There will be thickening cloud throughout the day and eventually outbreaks of showery rain, the heaviest pulses over higher ground starting to push in, really becoming quite unsettled by the end of the afternoon. We're still above average for the time of year, but with stronger winds, cloudier skies and rain, it will feel very different as we head through into tomorrow. During the evening and during the early hours of Friday, again we've got systems coming in from the south and the west, nudging north and eastwards, but on Friday morning perhaps a little bit more in the way of brightness, so a good start, an unsettled story later on. That area of low pressure pushes itself away, a little ridge of high pressure for Saturday, the best day of the weekend, but low pressure is nearby, so as the weekend progresses I think we'll see windier conditions, cloudier skies and showery outbreaks of rain on Sunday. That's your forecast. Yes, very pleasant across the region today, looking and now feeling a little bit more like spring, especially with those temperatures across the region today. Low pressure in charge, a weather front to the northwest, but ahead of that feeding in some really mild air from the south, and we've had some of the better sunny spells across the UK today, but that system is trying to nudge its way a little bit further south and eastwards over the next few hours, so a little bit more clouds, slightly higher risk of getting a showery outbreak, but for many of us we will end the night with slightly drier and clearer conditions once more. We're still importing the mild air, but the winds will freshen through the night, becoming quite blustery by the time we reach dawn. We'll feel quite different as we head into tomorrow. 6:57 and 5:34 are your sun times. A dry and potentially clear start first thing, breezy from the word go, becoming quite blustery, particularly for the hills and the coast into the afternoon. You can see the rain starts to work its way in, the cloud thickens, and we could see some heavy pulses over the Pennines by the time we reach the afternoon. Temperature-wise, still well above the average by a good few degrees, but certainly feeling very different and not as mild as today. Then weather systems, a trail of them start to come their way in, so we're expecting an unsettled spell first thing on Friday, then some drier and brighter breaks, another system waiting in the wings, but as low pressure nudges itself away, we'll see a little ridge of high pressure for Saturday. Looks like the best day of the weekend, but you can see low pressure is nearby, so although Saturday will hopefully be drier, brighter with lighter winds and a chilly start, maybe even a touch of frost, Sunday we'll start to see those winds increase, cloudier skies and the risk of showery outbreaks of rain. That's your forecast.